Unbelievable, Jeff. What we witnessed in Kansas City wasn't just a soccer match, it was the breaking of a spell that had haunted Canadian soccer for generations. On September 7, 2024 in Kansas City, history was made. For 67 long years, every time Canada's men's national team set foot on American soil, they left empty-handed, defeated, disappointed, and often forgotten. But this time, everything changed. For the first time since 1957, Canada's men's national team beat the United States on American soil. The 2-1 scoreline barely captures the shockwave that hit North American soccer. For Canadian fans, it was a moment of pure, unfiltered joy. Decades of heartbreak washed away in a single night. This wasn't just a win, it was a statement. A declaration that the old order had been shattered. The Americans, stunned on their own turf, watched as Canada celebrated breaking a generational curse. The pain was visible on US faces, the relief and ecstasy on Canada's. Canada played with fire, pressing high and tackling hard, outshooting the US 17-8 and dominating the midfield. They played like a team possessed, refusing to be intimidated by history or reputation. The US looked frustrated, outfought, and outthought. For once, the roles were reversed. This wasn't luck, it was a tactical masterclass. Every Canadian player knew their role, every move was calculated. For decades, this fixture was a foregone conclusion. US dominance, Canada as plucky underdogs. The weight of history was always against them, but that night changed everything. The underdogs became the heroes, and a nation found its voice. It wasn't just 3 points, it was the end of an era. The torch had been passed and the future suddenly looked different. Canada didn't just knock, they kicked the door down. They inspired a new generation to believe that anything is possible. They're no longer content to be the friendly neighbors from the north. They want respect, and now, they've earned it. For the first time in generations, they look ready to claim the crown. And for Canadian soccer, the future has never looked brighter. If anyone thought Kansas City was a fluke, March 23, 2025, proved them wrong. In the CONCACAF Nations League third-place match in California, Canada did it again, another 2-1 win, but this time with even more authority. Their midfield dominated possession, stringing together sharp passes and controlling the tempo from the opening whistle. The US wanted revenge, but Canada held firm, even after losing Alphonso Davies to injury and coach Jesse Marsch to a red card. The team's composure never wavered, with veterans stepping up to keep the squad focused. Jonathan David's clinical finish sealed it, showing Canada's new killer instinct. His movement off the ball was relentless, and his goal, an unstoppable strike from the edge of the box, left the US keeper rooted. Down a star and their manager, they still found a way. The backline, led by Steven Vittoria, made crucial tackles and clearances, while the midfield pressed relentlessly to disrupt US attacks. 2 wins, both on American soil. Canada had become the US's bogey team. The narrative flipped. Canada was now the force to be reckoned with. Their goalkeeper, Milan Borjan, made a spectacular diving save late in the match to preserve the lead, igniting wild celebrations. The US stars, Pulisic and McKennie, were kept quiet thanks to disciplined marking by Canadian defenders and smart tactical fouls when needed. The Americans managed just 1 shot on goal in 84 minutes, stifled by Canada's organized defense and relentless pressing. Alarm bells were blaring for the US program. Canada's rise was no longer a surprise, it was the new reality. Their depth, teamwork, and belief had set a new standard. The US was left searching for answers. Canada's belief and resilience had changed the rivalry forever. Key players like Tajon Buchanan and Steven Eustaquio were everywhere, breaking up plays, launching counterattacks, and inspiring teammates. North American soccer had a new power, and it wasn't going away. Canada's performance was a statement, full of heart, skill, and unforgettable moments. What sparked this remarkable transformation? One name, Jesse Marsch. The American coach, hired in May 2024, didn't just tweak tactics, he ignited a revolution in Canada's soccer soul. Marsch injected belief, swagger, and a relentless high-octane style that electrified the squad. He transformed a collection of talented individuals into a single, unbreakable unit. Disciplined, united, and fiercely determined. Aggressive pressing, lightning-fast transitions, and suffocating defense became the hallmarks of a new Canadian identity, one built on grit, hunger, and collective pride. Even without Davies and Marsch on the sideline, the team played with laser focus and flawless execution, proving their newfound resilience. That's the Marsch effect: organization, self-belief, and a crystal-clear identity that radiates from every player on the pitch. Ironically, it took an American coach to unlock a distinctly Canadian spirit, one defined by courage, unity, and a refusal to back down. Marsh used his deep knowledge of U.S. soccer to expose its weaknesses, turning Canada into a fearless giant slayer. Now Canada storms onto the field with a chip on its shoulder, playing with the swagger and confidence to challenge any powerhouse in the world. The rest of CONCACAF has been put on notice. Canada's new identity is here, and it's rewriting the script. For decades, North American soccer was a two-horse race, US and Mexico. Their rivalry defined the region, with both nations trading titles and World Cup spots. Canada was the afterthought, respected, but never feared. But that narrative has been rewritten. Back-to-back wins over the US, including a landmark victory in the 2019 Nations League, signaled a true power shift. The seeds were planted years ago with youth investment, MLS academies, and a golden generation led by stars like Alphonso Davies and Jonathan David. Canada topped World Cup qualifying in 2022, even beating Mexico in Edmonton's freezing Fortress Commonwealth, a feat few thought possible. These wins on US soil, once unthinkable, have cemented Canada's new status as a regional powerhouse. The US soccer establishment is rattled, their confidence replaced by doubt, and pundits now openly question the U.S. quote. S place at the top. Canada's rise has ended the era of predictable dominance. Even the women's team has set new standards, winning Olympic gold and inspiring the next generation. Now it's a three-way rivalry at the top of CONCACAF, with every match a potential upset. Every team must adapt tactically and invest in youth or risk falling behind. Canada's aggressive pressing and fast transitions have set a new benchmark. The days of easy wins are over. Every point is earned, not given. Canada isn't just part of the new era, they're leading it, inspiring a continent and forcing their rivals to evolve. This is why football is the beautiful game. Anything can happen. History, budgets, reputations, all can be overturned in 90 minutes. Canada's upset is proof heart and belief can topple giants. The US had the stars and home advantage, but Canada had unity and purpose. Knockout tournaments reward those who rise under pressure. For 67 years, Canadian fans waited for this moment. The victory was a release of decades of frustration and hope. For the US, it was a bitter shock. This emotional roller coaster is what makes the sport irresistible. Canada's wins have injected excitement and uncertainty into the region. No match is a foregone conclusion now. The US has learned respect must be earned on the pitch. As fans, we get to witness this incredible drama unfold. From Maradona's hand of God to Zidane's headbutt, the game is filled with unforgettable moments. Last-minute goals, stunning saves, and dramatic comebacks keep us on the edge of our seats. Football unites us all, transcending borders and bringing people together. The Canada-US rivalry has been reborn, and anticipation for 2026 is reaching a fever pitch. What was once a one-sided affair is now a battle of equals, with every encounter carrying new weight. Canadian fans are buzzing with pride, their hopes higher than ever as they dream of a deep World Cup run on home soil. Meanwhile, American supporters are anxious, demanding answers and looking for signs of resurgence from their team. Every future match between these rivals is now a must-watch event, circled on calendars months in advance. With the 2026 World Cup co-hosted by Canada, the US, and Mexico, the stakes have never been higher for both teams and their fans. Canada's momentum is peaking at the perfect time, and the team is training harder than ever, determined to make history. The players know they're not just happy hosts, they're dark horse contenders, ready to shock the world. For the US, the pressure is mounting. The team is regrouping, analyzing every detail, and pushing to reclaim their dominance. Fans from both sides are planning trips, organizing watch parties, and fueling the rivalry with passionate debates and predictions. Both teams are ramping up preparations, training camps, tactical overhauls, and new strategies, all in pursuit of World Cup glory. The road to 2026 will be a wild ride, filled with anticipation, preparation, and the dreams of millions. Bring it on. Across the globe, Canada's breakthrough has sent shockwaves through the footballing world. In Europe, pundits who once overlooked the team now tip their hats in admiration. Canada's rise is no accident, declared a leading British sports outlet. It's the story of the tournament. Social media buzzes with praise from every continent. Brazilian fans marvel at the team's flair, while German commentators highlight their tactical discipline. In Asia, a Japanese broadcaster exclaimed, "Canada has become everyone's second favorite team." African analysts point to the diversity and unity within the Canadian squad as a model for the modern game. Even traditional rivals offer respect. A Mexican newspaper headline reads, "A new giant emerges in the north." Meanwhile, an Argentine fan tweeted, "If you're not cheering for Canada now, you're missing out on football's purest joy." Canadian players have become household names, their jerseys spotted in cities from London to Lagos. Young fans everywhere dream of emulating their journey. With each match, Canada has inspired not just a nation, but a global audience, reminding the world that football's magic knows no borders. As the dust settles, one thing is clear: Canada's story has captured the hearts and the respect of fans and experts everywhere. As the world marvels at Canada's meteoric rise, the future of North American soccer is a hot topic of speculation. Experts predict a seismic shift in the footballing landscape. "This is just the beginning," says a renowned football analyst. "Canada's success will inspire a new generation of players across the continent." In the United States, soccer academies are already reporting a surge in enrollments. "The ripple effect is undeniable," notes an American sports columnist. "We're witnessing the dawn of a golden era for North American soccer. Youth leagues are booming and talent scouts are finding gems in places they never thought to look." In Mexico, traditional powerhouses are taking note. "Canada's rise pushes us to elevate our game," admits a Mexican national team coach. "The competition in North America is becoming fiercer and more exciting." The 2026 World Cup, set to be hosted jointly by the United States, Canada, and Mexico, is anticipated to be a watershed moment. "This will be the stage where North America proves its footballing prowess to the world," predicts a European sports commentator. Fans are already buzzing with excitement, envisioning packed stadiums and unforgettable matches. Investment in soccer infrastructure is skyrocketing. New state-of-the-art training facilities are being built and professional leagues are expanding. "We're building a pipeline that will sustain top-level talent for decades," says a Canadian sports executive. As the narrative of North American soccer continues to unfold, one thing is certain: the world will be watching. The seeds planted by Canada's breakthrough are set to bloom into a vibrant, competitive, and globally respected footballing region. The beautiful game in North America is not just evolving, it's revolutionizing.